Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Grotesque Games. Today I am releasing my Compendium module that includes actors, items, and my roll tables for not only Ker Nethalas, but also Carnage and Aether. Of course, both of these games were created by Alex T, also known as Black Oath Entertainment. Huge shout out to you, dude. You're an absolute beast, and I love everything you have released and collaborated in. Thank you so much for being an amazing human being as well, and for allowing me to release and share this with everybody. Down in the video description, I will have a link to my GitHub page where you can find this. Some of my roll tables may be a little hectic, but you should be able to find whatever you need or make your own. I do plan to update this later down the line. This has been an interesting experience. I kept finding some issues here and there, but I believe I was able to iron everything out. So to get started, let's go ahead and click the link below. Scroll all the way down to the very bottom and then locate the module.json. Right click and then copy link address. Once you've booted up and made your way through the main page of Foundry, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have custom system builder and the modules needed to play these beautiful games. Since this happens to be a fresh install of Foundry, I'm going to go ahead and start fresh, start from the beginning, and make sure that you're able to follow along with me. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and click on Game Systems. Here I already installed Custom System Builder. All you have to do is click on Install System, type in Custom. It'll be the very first and only thing at this time that will pop up. It'll have a little install button here. Just go ahead and click on that and it'll pop right in here. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the modules. If you already have Ker Nethalas CSB, you don't have to worry about reinstalling that. It'll automatically ask for that dependency. So if you were to click on Install Module, make your way down to the manifest URL. In the path, hit Control V and hit Install. If this is your first time downloading this and working through Ker Nethalas CSB, then automatically, since this is going to require that module, it's going to ask to install that dependency. So we're going to click on Install Dependency automatically. And once those have loaded up, you'll see both of these pop right in for you. Next, make your way over to Game Worlds. Okay, so for here, when creating a world, I would highly recommend to keep Carnage and Aether and Ker Nethalas as a separate game world. One game might use different modules over the other. I will go ahead and include a few modules that I would definitely recommend, just as, bare bone essentials, just to help you get started and make your life a little more easier later in this video. For world title, we're just going to go ahead and type in Ker Nethalas. For game system, let's make sure that's Custom System Builder. And of course, fill the rest out to your leisure. Then click on Create World. Boom. Let's go ahead and load that bad boy up. Let's go ahead and hit the space bar to get that game paused annoying logo out of the way. Make our way to the top right hand corner to these little cog icons and click on that for settings. We're going to look for Manage Modules. You can just go ahead and tick mine. It'll automatically ask to make sure that Ker Nethalas CSB is activated. Both are ticked. And we're going to hit Save Module Settings. Boom. Now we're going to make our way to the Compendium tome icon next to Settings. Here what I've done, I went ahead and split up what is needed for Ker Nethalas and Carnage Aether. I did include everything in one folder at one iteration of this module, and it did not play out at all. It was mixing my templates and the actors together, and it was just very, very confusing. Doing this, you could just go ahead and, well, import or view any of these independently. So just for Ker Nethalas, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we install everything that has KN in front of it. See, here you'll be able to find anything that's under my compendium, and then Forelius's Ker Nethalas CSB compendium. What we're going to do is right click and then click import all content. And then down here where it says keep document IDs, make sure that is ticked and click yes. Then we're going to do this for everything else. You don't have to make sure that box is ticked for the Ker Nethalas CSB. I just did it on my end just for whatever reason. But if you were to click into these, you'll be able to see what I've included. Of course, the Carnage Aether bestiary with the mastery minions, all of our opponents categorized by elite, standard, and support. Then the character templates that I have created. Here I've included all of the core opponents. And then the one template that I had altered and created. Under Armory, you'll see the new Book of Mastery template. Will be all the relics that are available, all the weapons that are in the game. My roll tables that I use later in this video, after I suggest a few modules for Ker Nethalas, I'm also going to go ahead and show what my hotbar would look like with some of these roll tables. And then the rest under Ker Nethalas CSB is just the core essentials to get this game going. See the character templates and monster templates. All of the macros for this beautiful thing. And then all of the templates. Now we're going to go ahead and create our survivor. So in Chapter 2, creating our survivor, on page 13, you're just going to go ahead and go through the essentials. I have included a roll table for backstory as well, like what crime you were accused of. Housebreaking, breaking into homes to steal valuable items or money, often resulting in damage of property and sometimes violence against occupants. Here, if you chose to become a commoner, will be your backstory. Pretty neat. That's in Valorian Codex 2. Alright, now for your survivor, we're going to go ahead and click on Create Actor. Name your character. I'm just going to go ahead and name him Dorn. Now for Custom System Builder, this is going to be exactly what you see when you are creating things. You'll see this little drop list template area. This is all of the templates that is included in both of the modules. So in Ker Nethalas CSB, there is the underscore character, underscore character .2, and underscore monster. For mine, I've actually included underscore character .2. what they are, monsters should be pretty straightforward. So for underscore character, this allows you to click and drag items and masteries as they're created in Foundry to be clicked and dragged over onto the sheet. Character point 1 just allows you to go ahead and just type in that information. Now, since I like to click and drag and see all the beautiful things that Foundry can do, I created my own version, just had some typos, some fixes, and also I've included a slot for shield integrity if it's been hit and stuff like that. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and use point 2. These character sheets should look absolutely familiar. Of course, we have page 1, which is our basic attributes, skills, weapons, and masteries. Our vulnerabilities and resistances. Equipment. And our tension and layer domain page. Our overseer. Ker Nethalas CSB module automatically includes this nifty attribute roller. Automatically slaps that stuff in. But if you like to do stuff, roll dice on your table or roll dice through Foundry, you can definitely go ahead and do so manually. Now, once you've finished up the top half and you get to weapons and masteries, we're going to go ahead and drop over to the items tab and open up our armory. We're going to go ahead and pop open weapons and locate our starting weapon. For me, I'm just an absolute sucker for rapier. Okay. So here's a couple things that I would absolutely love to point out. Obviously, the rapier profile is beautiful. It shows you all of the traits, the damage type, what skills required, the cost of the item if you're looking to trade off to a trader, stuff like that, and the speed bonus. Speaking of bonuses, at the bottom, you'll be able to see all of the bonuses that these traits and speed bonus provides. Now, just like everything on here, if you hadn't noticed, when we clicked on this, it automatically popped up all of the information. If you remember, when we were right-clicking and importing, when I told you to keep document IDs, it actually saved that information and brought it over and didn't suggest or automatically populate the top option here. So what we're going to do is click and drag our rapier over into weapons. Boom. See all of its stats, what you get to include in your initiative bonus, your attack bonus, and your even defense bonus. Now for masteries, it took a lot of copy and pasting from the core book PDF, then bringing it over, make sure all of the text fit correctly and stuff like that. For masteries, obviously that's just a lot. So I left that up to you. All you have to do to get started is create item, and then we're just going to go ahead and name a mastery. Umbra Phantom. And then create new item. Now, see. This is the blank default page that you would expect to see when opening items and stuff like that, especially with Custom System Builder and not keeping the documented IDs. It can be a pain. On the template drop list, we have new mastery. If we were to refresh this page, it'll pop open what this sheet looks like. Of course, in the Book of Masteries, Alex was able to create 5 new tier powers for each mastery. That's over 100 new masteries. We've also went ahead and updated and re-imaged some of them as well, so that's beautiful. With this, of course, with this sheet, with Umbra Phantom, you can go ahead and drop in its description of the mastery, passive, the name of each tier, how many actions it costs, and how many costs for Aether, and what, of course, that ability does. Now, if you were to go ahead and just name something like this, it'll automatically update that and be like, ooh, I have this skill on this tier, or I have that one here and that one here. With that, we've created our Umbra Mastery. Now what we can do is we can go ahead and do the same thing with weapons and click and drag this over. Ooh. Click and drag this over. We did that, but it didn't show. Since the Book of Masteries has just dropped, ooh, I'm having a sudden sensation of deja vu. Nice. Now, since the Book of Masteries has just dropped, this is a fairly new template that I haven't even used yet. I just created it just for this module, as Alex has just dropped the Book of Masteries for everybody. To make sure that our Umbra Phantom Mastery pops up under here, what we're going to do, since I didn't get a chance to update this, but I will in the future, let's go ahead and open the back end of this template. So open template sheet, scroll down to the bottom where we find weapons and masteries, and under the item display containers, we're going to click on those bars. Here you can see that this container only accepts weapons and relic weapons. Now you would think it'd be the same thing for masteries. All we have to do is make sure that box is ticked and we have OG Mastery already set up. Hit save, close that bad boy and refresh your sheet, and then boom. Now for a original mastery, or should definitely look familiar. If you were to go ahead and tick this, let's say that this is your level 1 tier, and you brought this over, it will show you what ability you have unlocked. For my Book of Masteries template, I haven't been able to figure out why it's not showing up. I went ahead and looked at the code and just couldn't figure it out. And to be straight up with you, if you didn't watch my first Carnage Aether video where I constantly mention that I have no idea what I'm doing, I really don't know a lick of code. I know some HTML, and you know what? Thanks, MySpace. But yeah, essentially from here, your character is created. Now, if we hop over back to actors, we'll go ahead and pull up the actors and templates. Look at the bestiary. Everything in here should be set up under the correct template and ready to go for you. Now, before we jump into my role tables, I'm going to go ahead and suggest a couple of quality of life modules. Here are a couple of modules that I would recommend. Chat portrait, anything that you put into chat, whether it's your character or your player name, it will pop up a portrait of that token. Combat focus is super nifty. It may be out of date, but it still works like an absolute champ. I'm just going to show you. With combat encounters, it actually splits your entire counter table with chat. Absolutely nifty there. Combat utility belt. This thing has a couple of wonderful and interesting features. The one thing that I only use though is just computer and enhanced conditions. I'm not going to get into it. There are other videos out there that will show you how to use these way more better than I can. What it does, it allows you to go ahead and create your own custom status effects. So you can replace what Foundry already offers, put up your own, link it to some roll tables or some journal entries and stuff like that, and everything will pop into chat. Dice So Nice is what you had just saw a moment ago. If you were to roll some dice, it allows you to see that thing visually. And of course, down here, what you saw me clicking on is Dice Tray. We'll go ahead and put the nifty dice tray here for you, ready to go whenever you're ready to spam the hell and roll some dice. Right. Grotesque Compendiums, you don't need that, don't even worry about that. I'm joking, yes, you need to. Ker Nethalas CSB is the most required thing in this video. Monk's Hotbar expansion, I will get to when we get to my roll tables, and you'll see. Roll table from Sidebar and Journal is a phenomenal module. So for example, if we were to hop into our roll tables, by default, it doesn't give you the option to roll any of these. You have to open them and then click on roll. No, you can just do it here. It's great. And same thing in Journal. It links roll tables and stuff like that in journals, and if you were to click on it while it's in a journal, boom. That's actually a perfect example in my first Ker Nethalas video in my getting started checklist. That's exactly what that module does. It's beautiful. And status icon counters. This allows you to go ahead and visually see how many stacks of that specific condition that you have, like stacks of bleeding, stacks of poison, and stuff like that. Okay, now for roll tables and Hotbar. In my first two Ker Nethalas videos, when I was doing the Commoner Challenge, I actually used some premium modules that you may have saw, like a macro wheel that allows me to go ahead and open up all of my roll tables and macros and stuff like that. I even had a taskbar module where it brought up a taskbar like Windows has. I don't have those anymore now. This is just to show you that everything that we're going to do is 100% free. Except for the games. Buy those games. These games are awesome. Okay, now here's what I wanted to show you. With Monk's Hotbar expansion, boom, you have multiple hotbars. You can add more hotbars, whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill out this for Ker Nethalas, just to show what I typically have on my hotbar when I'm playing. And yeah, hopefully this helps you. So I have all my hit locations, I have our combat encounter, our defense moves and fumbles, and then while we're exploring, I have, is it a room or a corridor? The room and corridor encounters. Is there a door there? Is it locked? Scavenging, resource table, spoils table, and random difficulty table. And I've went ahead and also included the new Book of Masteries random mastery table as well. Ooh, look at that, a Hexmancer. Here's what Chat Portrait does. See, if I were to roll as Dorn or do anything as Dorn, it will show up Dorn's little token character. Don't have anything set right now, but it will show up. If you see anything like this where it has this question mark inside a diamond, this will always be a letter F. I'm not too sure if this is just the EU keyboard layout messing with this, but if you were to copy and paste anything over from the PDF into this, you will see this quite often. In order to get that fixed, you just have to go into the rule table, look for that text, and then replace it with an F. Boom. Done. Now for Carnage and Aether, everything should be absolutely straightforward with my actors and templates. They don't need any items, which is absolutely perfect. The only thing that I do recommend is installing obviously everything that has CA in front of it, but also I would recommend to go ahead and do the KN macros from the Ker Nethalas CSB module as well. One thing that is absolutely optional, I do recommend doing this because it has absolutely helped me a lot. If we were to go into journal and create journal entry, we're going to upload a PDF copy of the core book. So I'm going to go ahead and type core book, add page, change type to PDF. I'm going to put core. We're going to locate our file path. I already have it in this folder, but if you were to under upload, click on choose file, there will be a pop-up of your directory. Locate it wherever that might be. It might be in a separate document folder or in your downloads folder. Once you got it in here and selected, hit select file, save entry, and boom. Everything on here works wonderfully. I went ahead and chosen the low-res version of this just so it doesn't bog down anything. But of course, as you can see, it has all of our wonderful bookmarks. You can view the pages, stuff like that. You can go ahead and skip to wherever you need to go. Everything should be set from here. Now that you got your survivor geared up and ready to die, we are ready to take our first step into Domain 1 of Ker Nethalas. We're going to move over to the Scene tab and create a scene. We're going to name this one Domain 1. Click Create Scene. So this is going to be your graph paper. What we're going to do is we're going to swap over to grid. The padding percentage, turn that completely off. And then to grid size, we're going to down this to 25 pixels. Give us some of that room in case we hit up a mega dungeon. Click Save Changes and then click Yes. Here you go. Pick a good starting point. For some reason, I like to start dab in the middle of things. Go ahead and drop Dorn here. Now we're going to roll up our first room. Ooh, very nice. All I did was hit 1 on my keyboard, and since is this a room or a corridor? So our first room is mirrors shattered into jagged pieces, creating a disorienting effect, distorting reality and reflecting haunting images. Let's build out this room. We're going to move over to drawing tools on the left hand side. We're going to do this as draw polygon. Make sure that this is set to force snap on grid vertices. And once you click your first corner, you're ready to go. All you have to do is left click and drag. And you've created your first point. If you end up making some sort of mistake, like, oh no, that's not the room that I was drawing, or it just came out poorly and you're looking to start over, if you right click, it will undo any of those points. Now we're going to go ahead and draw this out. And then once you reached your final point, if you were to double click, it will set that as a tile. Now, I don't like how thick these lines came out. I'm going to go ahead and double click this. And then change line width to 3. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and change the stroke color to black. Now, sometimes I find myself clicking and dragging the room when I really don't mean to. So what I'm going to do is hit right click and then lock. Lock this bad boy into place. Now to add our doors, we're going to go ahead and head over to the wall controls and then draw doors. Same thing, click and drag. Boom. 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 We're going to head over back to token controls and then we will be able to see our doors. If you were to left click, they will open. Right click to lock. Now what you can do is draw a little circle just to show that there's some indication that there is a trap there. But once you're ready to move on, I mean, is there a door? Yes, and it's locked and trapped. We're not going through that door. We know the other door's trapped. Is there a door here? Yes, and it's locked. Let's go ahead and roll a room encounter and see what we get. Got Razor Jaw. Now with this, you can just go ahead and click and drag that straight out of chat and drop it. Now there is one feature that I would suggest doing. We're going to move over to our character tab, open up our character sheet here. Under prototype token and identity tab, under link character data, make sure that that box is ticked and update token. Now, what I did basically saves your character and all of the information and items and stuff like that it has acquired while it's been on the board. So let's say you went ahead and defeated the Razor Jaw, and you're just about to leave your domain. Well, it's time to clean up. Oh, dang. I didn't save. Wait a minute. It's still here. It's still here. Now, for opponents, I wouldn't worry about it. They are essentially cannon fodder, so they are just meant just to go down and be wiped away. But once you got the gist of the game and the flow of things, I will guarantee you will have a blast on this. Now, Carnage Aether is a whole different ball game. But with this, where you are actually going to need to convert the arena map from a PDF to a JPEG. There are plenty of websites that can do that for absolutely free. So now I'm going to go ahead and create the map. Same thing as domain 1, we're going to move up to create a scene. I'm going to name this one Crimson Coliseum. Now, of course, where it has background image, we're going to go ahead and open up our file paths and locate that. And then save changes. Up at the very top, there are these two tabs. Of course, since you created domain 1, and now we have created a whole new tab, Crimson Coliseum. Now here, this may be a little intimidating because, of course, everything will kind of snap into these squares and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to offset those squares to make sure that they match the squares of the map. Now to fix and edit to where everything will fit in these squares, we're going to go ahead and click on our new scene, Crimson Coliseum. Under the grid type, there is this ruler. We're going to click on that. We'll zoom in just a smidge here. We're going to keep our grid type to square, but what I've done in the past is change our grid size to 300. Click yes. Swap back over to this, because we're going to configure the offset. Offset is going to move our grid to match these squares. Now you can go in any which direction you choose. Some of this may be a little off, but your token still remains in that square, or at least appears to be within that square. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and click on Save Changes, smack yes for this, and voila. Our grid now is in with the squares. Now what I'm going to do, just for clarity and so you can see, I'm going to up the grid thickness so you can see where our squares are. Well, once you've messed around and got everything set up and ready to go, I do believe that you are set to play. If you all happen to have any questions, or if there's something that I have missed, some sort of feature, function, or anything like that, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you happen to be on the Black Oath Discord, you can look for me there. Feel free to message me directly, ping me, or what have you. I'm more than willing to go ahead and help you get everything completely set up. Heck, I'll even jump on a Discord video call and we can screen share. Thank you all so much for your time and patience. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment below. Take care.